Look. You photobombing my video, girl? All right. Hello, like family. Good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you guys are. I love how we have a global following that we get to connect with. My name is Nicole Peretti. I'm one half of Twin Flame Revolution. I'm a consciousness mentor, a coach, public speaker, motivational speaker, get that good energy out to you so we can reflect back and forth our shadow, our light, our struggles, our wins is so important. And so Dov and I, got a message. We wanted to show up Sunday and do a sermon or do a prayer circle, and we were told that we needed to rest and take time for ourselves. But I did want to make a video and show up for you guys with some of the things that were coming through. And yesterday was such a beautiful day of resurrection energy within ourselves of life. And in that, the frequency shifted so high yesterday. I saw it at 61 hertz, but I'm not sure if the Schumann's resonance went higher. And it knocked me unconscious almost for a moment while Dov was cooking a beautiful meal for us. Ooh, it was Middle Eastern. I loved it. She's so beautiful. But this resurrection energy of, connecting in all different places. We're so disengaged. We've been so disconnected from our bodies, disconnected from each other, disconnected from our higher self, disconnected from the planet, where you've seen so much suffering and destruction. And now that we're in lockdown, there's so many beautiful things that are actually happening in the isolation. Not to say that people aren't getting sick, not to say that people aren't struggling in that isolation, but there is a sense of almost like I remember when in my past, when God would try to corral me and get me to slow down and get me to stop. And I would have overdoses and I would break my leg and compound fractures and get messages like, slow down, like stop, like you're going to kill yourself. And, it's almost like this global, like stop so you can come back home to yourself and resurrect your life, resurrect your truth, resurrect your virtues, resurrect your heart's pulse, like remembering like who you are and removing this jadedness. We are jaded. We are programmed, so programmed. We're so programmed from the time that we friggin' hit the air. Ideas, so many ideas that go against like free will, that go against our nature, our true nature, our divine nature. I mean, it's so thick. It's layer upon layer upon layer upon layer of programming. Even when you think you're like there in the truth, it's like there's another layer of distruth. There's another part. There's another like, false light connection where it's inverted and it's working against you. It's not working on behalf of you. And so coming back to this energy, because I really want to sit with it, this energy of resurrection and what that felt like for many of us yesterday. And I spoke to some people and, it's not all rainbows. It wasn't all, because as you have this energy that's going like, whoa, there's an energy that wants to pull down. There's a restriction energy. There is within and without that's happening. There's the parts of like that are afraid to go straight to the light. I mean, we just bought tulips and Dov goes, look at the tulips. They were on the table, right? And they were like leaning to the side. Why were they leaning towards the glass, door? It was leaning to the light as no fear. It's like, I know, but because of the programming that we have on this planet in a human form, right? This human mind, that has this human negative ego part that's just like, that's questioning everything. It's like, do I really want to go to the light? Do I really trust the light? Like, what's the light done for me? Like, that part of self that's pulling on your coat tail, that's tripping you up. And then there's evil energy right now that doesn't want the resurrection of the new earth, doesn't want the resurrection within you to transpire. And so when we think of resurrection energy, I think of It's interesting because yesterday was Easter, and it's like, you know, the resurrection of the sun, but also like I watched the sunrise yesterday, and I saw this energy of the sunrise. And then I know as I'm doing my Qigong practice and I'm imagining the solar light from the central sun, the sun in my gut, this sun, like the resurrection of this energy, this frequency of the sun within, this energy of that frequency that is love, unconditional love, Christ conscious love. Know that there is, and one of my beautiful clients said, I'm feeling like I'm in a battle. You know who you are. I feel like I'm in a battle, in a war. And it's like, yeah, I mean, there's these energies at this duality at war, and we're working towards integrating it so much, integrating it as a whole, that there isn't a battle, that there isn't the duality, right? You know, that has been used as a control measure, but also is used for us because God is so great and merciful, and the unconditional love frequency is so merciful. That frequency, that higher knowing connection is so merciful in that it can take duality and make it work on behalf of us. I'm going to say that one more time. Can take duality and make it work on behalf of us because it can show you so much about yourself. It's going to show you so much about yourself. That contrast wants to teach you and show you. Love frequency always has an up and up on darkness, evil. When I say darkness, I'm not talking about like the dark parts of ourselves. I'm talking about evil. It's got one up on it always, and it might even be 2 or 3 up on it. That every time you fall, the energies around you are figuring out a way to teach you. Your higher self is figuring out a way to teach you. My head is spinning right now because the energy is like this. Woof, woof. All right, so you're seeing me do this. I'm in like almost like a trance energy. So just know that the energy, this is a beautiful frequency to be going like this because there's a lot of cleansing energy that's happening right now. I'll try to keep my head I'll try to keep my head like this, not throw you guys off. Surrender and an allowance, right? We surrender to the allowance of your resurrection. Surrendering to the allowance and the permission of the resurrection of you, the true nature of you, the new earth, this great awakening. Surrender in those painful moments. Surrender. And that's important. It's like no mind, because when we surrender, we want to fight a little bit. We'll go into a story. If I can't, I don't want to, I'm so pissed. And then all of a sudden, as soon as we do that, it really doesn't allow, we disengage from the surrender to the light. And when we surrender to the light, this frustration, this pain, this suffering, what happens, it doesn't last. It doesn't last for a long time. It can be shortened, it can be quickened. So, to this beautiful, beautiful energy that we are in right now, allow yourself to come home to you, this resurrection of self, this resurrection of Christ conscious love. You're so whole, you're so beautiful, you're so just perfectly made. I hope you have a beautiful day. Light and love.